क्लास लगाने वाला कौन? हाँ चल रहे लगा रहे हैं।
Today I, Mark and History Association DAV College Chandigarh present the play Lispeth, based on a short story by Rudyard Kipling. Now, Rudyard Kipling was a poet and novelist from England who was born in 1865 in Bombay and died 1936. He was often referred to as the poet of England as he was glorifying British rule in the world. His early and most impressionable writings came from Bombay, and his parents were the sahibs of a tiny colony in Bombay for whom the imperialism was an unquestionable religion. Now, Rudyard Kipling is known basically more for his works like Jungle Book and his famous novel Kim, and many other works, and his most famous poem by him, which is called If. So, the Nobel Prizes, as we know, was introduced first in 1901, and that made Kipling the first recipient of Nobel Prizes in Literature in 1901, the first ever person to get Nobel Prize in Literature. Now, Lispeth is a short story written by him, which is a part of a greater novel known as Plain Tales from the Hills. And it was first published, the story was first published in 1886 in the Civil and Military Gazette, and later was published in the first edition of the Plain Tales from the Hills in 1888. It is a short story that revolves around a girl who was actually left at a mission and grew up with the chaplains and found a feverish man on the road one fine day and nursed him back to good health, and then intended to marry him. It is a multi-layered short story, as you will see now, and I hope you all will enjoy the play, and all hope for discussions which will be followed after the play. Thank you.
A very warm good morning to all. My name is Rudyard Kipling, and today I unravel a short story from my first book, Plain Tales from the Hills. The name of the story is Lispeth, that revolves around the life of a woman with the same will be a simple short tale for many of you, but for me, Lispeth meant more. It helped me construct processes of acculturation that impacted both gender and society during the heydays of the British Raj. Moreover, it was while penning down these stories for my book that my love for the mountains grew, an affair that matured into many of my forthcoming novels. So friends, today, as I share with you all the story of Lispeth, I go back to those years when these early writings became the most formative and productive texts of my life. I believe the first time I heard about Elizabeth, or should I call Lispeth, was during my stay in Shimla. Upon hearing about her, I was intrigued to know more, and it was this quest that led me to Kotgarh, a town about 70 kilometers away on the Hindustan-Tibet road. The town had become a prominent place on the map of the British Punjab, as it had witnessed the advent of the Christian missionaries in the early decades of the 19th century. If I'm not wrong, it was in 1885 that I met Lispeth for the first time while traveling to Kotgarh.
कितना दुख है तेरे जीवन में, कोई बात नहीं, ये देख हर दर्द की दवा है, पी और अपना सारा गम भुला दे। ये अगर तू ना
होती रे चंपा, तो भगवान जाने मेरा कौन होता।
कोई ना। अरे ओ चंपा, चल उठ, निकल यहाँ से। खुद तो यहाँ पड़ी रहती है और इसे भी यहाँ बिठा लेती है। अगर तू मेरी मौसीनी बहन ना होती ना, तो मैं तुझे चप्पल से मार मार कर भगाती। चल उठ, निकल यहाँ से। पहले तो तू जा यहाँ से, बस आ जाती है।
क्या हुआ बिना चाची? क्यों गला फाड़ चिल्ला रही हो?
आजा, तेरी ही कमी थी बस यहाँ। अरे देखो इन दोनों महारानियों को, सारा दिन यहाँ पड़ी रहती है।
हे भगवान, बस कर जा बुढ़िया, कितना पिएगी, मरना है क्या?
ए, छोरी, तू होता कौन है उसे रोकने वाला? हाँ, तुझे नहीं पता उस बेचारे की जिंदगी में कितना गम है, और वो थोड़ा पी रही है गम भुलाने के लिए, तो तुझे तकलीफ हो रही है। जा यहाँ से। तो हुआ भी तो इसकी बेवकूफियों की वजह से है। भुगते आप। हाँ।
ये रही वो बाबू साहब, ये रही वो हमारे परिवार पे लगी कलंक। लिस्पेथ मरती भी नहीं और आप इससे मिलना चाहते हो? लो, मिल लो। जूरी, कुर्सी लाओ बाबू साहब के लिए।
ये देखो, आ गया एक और अंग्रेज मेरी जिंदगी बर्बाद करने के लिए। लगता है शराब से ज्यादा मुझे इन अंग्रेजों के जुल्मों की लत लग गई है।
ना जाने अंग्रेजों को देखकर इसका मन क्यों मचल जाता है साहब। शायद ये जानती नहीं कि अब तक आपकी सरकार हम पर राज कर रही है।
My name is Rudyard Kipling, my lady, and I believe you are Lispeth of Courtgard Mission.
कोटगढ़ मिशन? इसके बारे में तूने कहां से सुना? मैं अब इस नाम से नहीं जानी जाती।
But you have always carried this title with you, knowingly or unknowingly. I was lucky to have heard about you, and so today I have come to know more about your life, Elizabeth.
मजाल तो देखो, तमाशा देखने आया है क्या ये? और मेरा नाम लिस्पेथ है, एलिजाबेथ नहीं। और मैं क्यों सुनाऊं तुझे अपना दुखड़ा?
देखो, देखो तो इस अंग्रेज की औलाद को, मेरी दोस्त को परेशान करने आया है। पता नहीं कौन से जन्म का बदला लेना है अंग्रेजों ने इससे। इसको तो मैं झूठी पकड़ इसको और जाकर कमरे में बंद कर देना। और कोई पूछे तो कहना बेला चाचू ने इसे भेजा है। चले जा, बंद कर इसको। अंग्रेजों से पंगा लेने चली है, आई बड़ी जा, बंद कर इसको।
हाँ, मैं जा रहा हूँ।
छोड़ छोरी, वो अंग्रेज न जाने क्या बोल रहा है। छोड़।
कौन हो तुम? How do you know me?
My dear lady, I happened to be traveling to Shimla when I heard about you. All of them say that you are the beautiful Lispeth of Courtgard, who once lived with the Christian missionaries.
Beautiful. My beauty. You heard about my beauty. And those missionaries?
Don't be cynical, dear Elizabeth. I just want to know about your life.
तमाशा है क्या? जानने आया हूँ। You English never know when to quit mocking us Indians, do you?
Calm down, Elizabeth, calm down.
Get off. There is so much pain I carry in my heart. And there is so much more to share. What do you want to know?
From the beginning, my dear lady, whatever you may remember.
I believe it began here in 1820 in this beautiful town of ours, 55 miles away from Shimla.
I have read that the Moravian missionaries used to look after Courtgard at that time.
To hell with them. My mother Jade and her husband, my damned father Sonu, used to live at a farm close to River Satluj, with enough to fulfill their necessities, and slightly over it. But who knew a tragic
बर्बाद हो गया रे।
क्यों, क्या हुआ?
बिरजू मिला था, बता रहा था भालू ने टीम खाकर सारे मक्के की फसल खराब कर दी। पूरे साल की मेहनत खराब हो गई रे।
हे भगवान, अब हम क्या करेंगे? अगर भूखा ही मारना था तो ईश्वर ने हमें हमारी पहली संतान क्यों दी? न जाने किसके पाप का भागी बनाया है हमें।
लगता है हमारी श्रद्धा भक्ति में कई कमी रह गई होगी, वरना ये लड़की थोड़ी ना देते। लड़का होता तो बात ही कुछ और होती। इन ईसाई धर्म वालों को देखो, क्यों ना इनसे मदद ली जाए।
शायद आप सही कह रहे हैं। वैसे तो धर्म परिवर्तन हमें हमारे ही लोगों में द्रोही बना देगा, पर शायद इस नन्ही सी जान के लिए यही सही रहे।
तो सही कहती है, हम आए महीने ही अपना धर्म बदल देंगे।
The coming month, my parents went to the then Kodgarh chapel, who converted them into Christianity.
Father,
Yes, my children.
हमें आपके धर्म का हिस्सा बनना है।
You are now the proponents of our religion, my children. May Jesus have mercy upon yours and your daughter Elizabeth's life. From now on, all your dark days shall end as you step forth into the light of His magnificence.
My parents' life did become easier, as they were sent aid for food and essentials for about a month to sustain themselves.
जिंदगी कितनी सरल हो गई जाने। अब हमें फालतू के प्रपंचों में पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है। अब हम खुद पर ध्यान दे सकते हैं। अरे लिस्बत पर ध्यान दे सकते हैं।
आप बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं। और देखिए हमारे लिस्बत को, कितनी खूबसूरत और खुशमिजाज है। मुझे तो लगता है कि बड़ी होकर कोटगढ़ की महारानी बनेगी।
ठीक उसी तरह जिस तरह तो मेरे दिल पर राज करती हो।
वैसे कभी महारानी की तरह रखा तो नहीं।
बकवास।
As I was told, 5 weeks later, cholera struck my parents, which carried them away to eternity.
Such an unfortunate tale of events, my dear lady.
I wish I'd spent more time with my parents. I would have loved to feel their unconditional affection towards me.
Life is unfair in many ways, Elizabeth.
All the more unfair to me. Sometimes it feels as if the world had conspired to go against me.
But what happened next? How were you brought up then?
2 days later, the Kodgarh church was headed by a new chaplain, my guardian.
My dear, the record shows that the 2 recent converts, Sonu and Jade, have been declared dead. But what's been bothering me the most is that their only heir, their 5-week-old daughter, Elizabeth.
Poor child. She's too young. Shouldn't we adopt her?
No, she's a convert, not of pure blood. She will never be one of us.
I know that, my dear. But by raising her, don't you think Christianity would set up such high ideals among the natives? Besides, the government would be so pleased as well.
Very well. We can do so. Though she may never be an equal to our race. But by her means, We shall mend the savageries of the native people. For them she'll be a goddess, a Christian goddess.
I believe your life with the chaplains must have been very joyful, Elizabeth. One only dreams to possess such good luck.
My life, for 17 years hence, was everything a child of that age could ask for. Not only I was a lovely woman, but I was extremely talented as well. Had I not been dressed in the print clothes affected by the missions, people would have easily taken me to be the original Diana of the Romans, going out to slay. Alas, I was never the child of the chaplains, but rather their half-companion.
Just look at her. It doesn't matter whether Christianity or the gods of her own people have made her so beautiful and elegant, but she has turned out to be such a lovely woman. Any man can travel 50 miles over bad ground only to glance at her magnificence.
Truly said, dear. She has been a faithful woman too. She hasn't abandoned Christianity like some other girls do. No matter how ill her own people may think of her, adding to her charms she can write and read well, and even goes to Sunday school. By the way, does she help you around the house?
Well, yes, but you know we cannot ask such a beautiful girl, a stately goddess like her, to do the household chores like cleaning utensils and all. What if we do and someone from the outside questions it? The natives would start denouncing the values of the mission.
Who would question about it really? She locks herself in her room. If anyone does visit us by happenstance, she has no interest in serving in anything genteel, even in Simla. So how will anyone ever know what she does here? To me, she seems pretty happy and content.
But we cannot curtail the little liberty she has over herself, else she might rebel. What if one day she goes out for a daily walk and some man comes to our home with the intention of marrying her, and she plays the damsel in distress owing to his passion for her? Wouldn't that be a great risk for us and the government?
Sounds reasonable. Very well. Let her be there.
Elizabeth, come set the table for dinner. Coming, mistress.
My dear lady, I have heard the rumors of you falling for an Englishman. Please do enlighten me on that subject.
Few months after I turned 17 years old, I went out for a walk between Kotgarh and Narkanda.
So
While I was wandering in the woods, I found an Englishman dog. Oh Lord!
Sir? Sir, are you okay? Sir, get up, sir. What happened? Is someone there? Help!
my husband. I found him on the Baki road. He was severely injured, and I could not leave him there alone. So I brought him home. We will nurse him, and once he's well, your husband shall marry him to me.
My God! What are you talking about?
What is the matter? What is this hearing about? And who is this man?
Elizabeth has brought home this wounded Englishman and claims him to be her husband. Oh dear, look at this poor lost soul. We must quickly tend to him.
Elizabeth, we'll talk later about your marriage, dear. Firstly, this man needs our immediate attention. We shall have to leave the room while I attend him. Dear, please fetch me the medical bill.
Sure.
The chaplain tended to him with whatever knowledge he had about medicine, while I was looking at them, hoping that the Englishman would soon open his eyes.
Elizabeth, please come. We need to talk to you.
How is he? Has his bleeding stopped? Will he be all right?
Of course he will. He's a young man with English blood. He will recover soon. But Elizabeth, what was all that talk about marrying him? Why would you even consider such a thought?
Oh my lord, he's such a handsome man. I found him down on the hillside in the Perrin, and I could not resist his good looks. He's of noble background as well. I do not know much, but on seeing him, it felt like butterflies in my stomach. It was then that I knew that not only he needed to be saved, but maybe Christ has sent him as my husband, as someone who will fulfill my desire of an idle man. He is an idle man, my lord.
You're being highly unreasonable, child.
Elizabeth, there is no such thing as falling in love at first sight. It is always up to the parents or the guardians of the children to select the ideal mate for them. We will be the ones to decide when, how, and who you shall marry. Do you understand?
No, I don't. I saved you the trouble. I found my man.
Elizabeth, you'll either listen to us or you'll be sent to Simla right away for the service.
Now don't say that.
Elizabeth,
My dear lady, so were you convinced to tone down your infatuation towards him? What did you do?
At that time, I was really scared to leave their home, as I did not know how to deal with the unknown world. But in my heart, I was resolute to nurse that Englishman back to good health, so he could marry me. That was my plan.
How generous of you. So could you succeed in your plan, and what did you do then?
I kept nursing the Englishman until he recovered. In fact, he had finally started to get better.
Where am I? Who are you?
Oh, my lady. My lord. He's finally talking. Come soon.
Good Lord! Glad to hear you, sir. You're at our place in Portgal. I'm his chaplain. And she is my wife.
our companion Elizabeth saved your life and has been diligently nursing you back to good health.
I shudder at thought of what would have happened had I not found you.
Thank you. Thank you all. I owe you a good deed.
Please tell us more about yourself. I mean, we are very curious to know where you came from. Did Christ send you here?
Well, I am a traveler in the east. I came to Shimla Hills from Dehradun for butterfly hunting. I might have fallen over the cliff and my luggage.
Wait, I found something there. This is what I found there.
Oh, my luggage must have been stolen by
sir, please. You must take some rest. You're still feverish. And there is light inflammation as well.
I will take good care of you. They haven't told you so, but I intend to take you as my husband.
Oh, Elizabeth, don't push yourself much on this ground.
It's okay, my lady. She indeed is a sweet and a lovely girl. Any man will be more than willing to marry her.
Would you?
Let me recover first. Then we shall consider it.
Of course I will.
Elizabeth, let the young man have some rest. He has had enough excitement for the day.
Thank you for your kind remarks and your hospitality. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Is that all you could do?
Certainly not. My love for him was purer than all the gold mines in the world. My efforts to woo him for marriage did not just cease there. In a few days' time, he was able to walk and had mostly recovered. My companionship had impressed him so much that he had finally begun to take interest in me. Or so I thought.
I'm sure, my dear lady, he must have thought highly of you.
That was a beautiful piece of music, Liz.
Thank you, my dear. I had learned since I was 8 years old. I'm pretty sure wherever you are from, there must be great pianists.
Yes, but for a commoner, it was wonderful. So tell me, Liz, how did you end up with the chaplains?
I was told that I was 5 weeks of age when my parents adopted Christianity and died of cholera. It was kind of chaplains who have brought me here. Ever since then, they taught me to read, to play piano. They let me be myself more than natives would have perhaps.
You're a very lucky woman, Liz.
I know I am. I found you as well.
You're the most exquisite woman in this entire subcontinent.
Oh, you exaggerate, my love. Surely your love for me must be making you say so. When will you marry me, dear?
I mean, let me get back home first and convince my people back. And until then, there should be nothing more between us.
Your mind shall soon change, dear.
It's a wonderful weather out there. I might always also go for a stroll. And on my way back, I'll also meet the chaplain. Could you excuse me for a moment?
Yes, my dear. Meanwhile, I prepare supper. See you.
Take care. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. To what do I owe you this visit?
I wanted to have a word regarding Elizabeth's infatuation towards me. Has she done this to any other man before?
Certainly not, sir. She has been a jovial yet a reserved child all her life. You're one of a kind to her.
So, what do you suggest about her desire of marrying me?
Sir, she may be a convert, but as a Christian, true by faith. If you marry her, only will she be able to see the magnificence of our world, but the natives will hail Christianity for taking her in as one of her own. After you marry her, you shall do as you please with her.
I would have graciously asked her hand for the marriage, but I'm engaged back home. And to marry her would mean to deceive my own people back home. And to fend her off in this manner would mean damnation on my soul.
Oh dear, I'm glad you confessed it here, in the abode of Jesus. And for Elizabeth, she may very well be a heathen. In that case, I suggest that then the events unravel themselves. May Jesus have mercy upon us all.
Amen.
Amen, son.
Time was flying by. It was probably in a week that the Englishman had made up his mind to leave.
Did you not persuade him to stay, my dear lady?
I did, but he was pretty adamant to leave. And my naive self could not see beyond his "Oh dear Liz, so exquisite one," while he was making plans to leave me. One fine day, he was finally going to leave. Oh, that day.
What happened is,
I can't think of my life without you. Oh, I'm going to miss you so much.
don't worry, Liz. Once I get back, I'll send someone for you.
When would that be?
At the earliest.
But can I at least accompany you to Nalkanda? It's not very far away, you know.
Okay.
I'll be ready in a minute.
Sir, I need to talk to you.
Go on.
It's about Elizabeth, of course. You know how she's been acting around since the day you arrived. She's head over heels for you. But as a Christian and her guardian, I must implore you. Just tell her that you will come back and marry her.
I'm fully aware of the situation, ma'am. But I feel like a liar. Liar trying to make a beautiful woman happy. But I must confess, I enjoyed every moment with her. An idyll of Himalayas. I'm engaged back home and it's really difficult to commit to her.
I know it may take a lot for you to say so, but please do. Elizabeth is but a child, you know, and I fear at heart a heathen.
It takes a great deal of Christianity to wipe out uncivilized Eastern instincts. I understand your sentiments, ma'am. I shall be discreet.
I'm ready.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Have a safe journey.
Let's go.
We went to Narkanda together, chatting about ourselves and the surroundings, while the Englishman had his arm around my waist. But in my heart, I was in a miserable state. To let my love go away from me, even if for a few days. I had grown fond of his company. At the Narkanda Ridge, we stopped to bid our farewell.
Please reconsider your decision. I will love. No, I will worship you like my one true Lord. Please don't leave me. Please.
I promise you on my Christian faith, Liz. I'll come back to marry you. But until then, goodbye.
I'm going to miss him so much.
How did it go, dear?
He will come back and marry me. He went back to his own people to tell them so. He will come back and marry me.
Of course, child, he will.
My dear lady, your heart must be very heavy at this moment to see your plans fail so miserably against the power of fate. So what happened next?
I waited. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months.
Here. His home must be here. Oh, it has been 2 months. He must have reached my home recently, for he is a traveler. Maybe I should write him a letter. No, that would be foolish of me. What was I thinking? Or maybe I should leave for England instead. This big blue area, the Arabian Sea, I think. It doesn't seem too vast for a steamboat. I've heard it can carry a lot of people at very fast pace. Maybe I should leave for England. Or should I?
Elizabeth, look what I received today. Copy of the travel log written by the young Englishman.
Please show me. Oh, but it doesn't mention anything about us or Portugal. Only about Assam. This is not fair.
What a troubled young maiden.
It became a daily ritual for me to go to the Narkanda Ridge, hoping I might just find him. But it all seemed in vain. I was becoming highly impatient and deeply frustrated. Seeing this, the chaplain's wife could not hold any longer. And one fine day, she unfolded it all.
Elizabeth, my dear child, you must cease to think about that Englishman. He won't come back now.
I know that. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
You know he only promised to marry you just so you can let him leave without a fuss.
No, that's not true.
You must understand the situation, Elizabeth. He never meant any affection he may have shown you.
Why do you believe so?
Elizabeth, you made a folly to think that an Englishman like him, true in his faith, would ever resort to marry an ordinary hill girl like you. He is of true English blood and would only marry a girl chosen by his own people.
Oh, but I loved him with all my heart. Since my eyes gazed upon him, I surrendered
come. I kept quiet for too long.
If only she had told me this in the beginning. At least I wouldn't have gone through such a heartbreak.
But this was the only way. Oh, Elizabeth, you were raised amongst us, but that didn't mean you would become one of us.
I devoted all my life to them. I did my best to be one of them. Yet, this is what I got in return.
Where is she now? I hope she's all right. Elizabeth, what have you done to yourself?
I'm going back to my own people now. You are all liars. You English?
Child, do not do so. Your people will not accept you. You've been a Christian all your life.
I will find my way to be amongst them. No longer have I got in touch with you people.
Don't be childish, Elizabeth.
Don't call me Elizabeth! You have killed Elizabeth! There's only left Rojade's daughter, the daughter of a Pahadi, the servant of Tarka Devi, the goddess of dawn.
Why aren't the candles lit? Elizabeth? Elizabeth?
Elizabeth is not here.
Where is she?
She has denounced us and Christianity.
How can she?
Oh well, there's no law whereby you can account for the vagaries of the heathen. And Elizabeth, I believe, was always at heart an infidel.
Oh, Elizabeth, you were never meant to be a Christian.
Here talks the Christian. No wonder.
But I didn't mean it that way.
I am well acquainted to the lies of your world. These are the same lies that made me leave your world. Now, I'm not as naive as I was before.
But were your own people any better?
At least I was away from your world of hypocrisy and betrayals.
What happened next, Elizabeth?
People down the road watched in awe the sudden transformation in my parents as I headed to my maternal uncle's home.
अरे ये रुक, अरे तो ये भाई है ना यो, ईसाईदार हमारी लिस्बेथ। आज ये कपड़े?
आज तो पहाड़न बनकर किधर जा रही है रे?
Keep quiet!
आती नहीं जा?
As soon as I reached their home, I was received by my aunt. There, I narrated her my torturous tale, hysterically. करा लिया मुकाला? तेरी कोई इज्जत नहीं तो कम से कम हमारा तो सोच लेती। न जाने ये समाज क्या कहेगा।
सुनते हो?
तू यहाँ?
क्या करना है इसका?
करना क्या है? चंद दिनों की मेहमान है हमारे घर में, और क्या?
चंद दिनों की? What do you mean? I have nowhere else to go. You are all I've left as my family. Please.
पता नहीं क्या बड़बड़ाती रहती है। यहाँ तेरी अंग्रेजी नहीं चलेगी, समझी?
अजी सोनू और जादे ने कम झंडे गाड़े थे धर्म बदलकर, जो ये उनसे भी आगे निकली। मैं तो कहती हूँ कोई रिश्ता देखकर इसकी शादी करवा दीजिए।
सही कहती है रे तू। ऐसी लड़की भला हमारे किस काम की?
Please don't do this with me. Please help me, please.
बोला ना तेरी अंग्रेजी नहीं चलेगी।
अजी छोड़िए इसे, क्यों इसके मुंह लगते हैं? जाइए आपका खाना कमरे में परोसा है, ठंडा हो रहा। अरे ओ सुधा।
जी माँ।
इसे भी खाना दे दे। अब आ गई है तो निकाल भी नहीं सकते हैं ना। मुझे तो इसकी शक्ल भी बर्दाश्त नहीं हो रही है। मैं चली अपने कमरे में। ज्यादा मत मुंह लगाना इसे।
ये ले और खा ले। सुधा सुनो, तुम तो मेरी एज की हो ना, तुम तो मेरा दुख समझ सकती हो।
ज्यादा प्यार दिखाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। अब यहाँ आ गई हो तो तुम्हें रखना पड़ रहा है और कुछ नहीं। और तुम्हें तो हमारा कर्जा होना चाहिए कि तुम्हें यहाँ रहने दे रहे हैं। कभी सोचा है कि तुम्हारी वजह से समाज हमें क्या क्या गालियाँ देगा?
सुधा तुम भी
ज्यादा चपड़ मत करो, खाना खाओ और सो जाओ।
My dear lady, that was such an unfortunate behavior by that savage family of yours. You didn't deserve to be treated like that. But I've heard that you were married off them.
In a week, perhaps, I was married off to a local woodcutter. उस हैवान के बारे में सोचकर भी मुझे घिन आती है। I feel I've seen the worst of the natives then.
किधर है? कुछ पूछ रहा हूं, अभी तक बना ही नहीं। थका आया हूं, जल्दी हाथ चलो।
मैं अभी घास काट कर आई हूँ, थोड़ा देर रुक जाओ, बहुत थकी हुई हूँ।
तू थकी हुई है? सांझ होने गई और तेरे से दोनों की रोटी भी नहीं बनती। ये सारा दिन मेहनत पता है ना कौन करता है? इधर बैठ। और तू इधर बैठे बस मुफ्त की रोटियां तोड़े।
मुझे भी कोई शौक नहीं है तुम्हारे साथ रहने का। मैं मुफ्त की रोटियां नहीं तोड़ती हूँ। I am your wife. Treat me with respect.
ए महारानी, ये क्या करती है तू?
नहीं, उसे छोड़ दो।
मना किया था ना मैंने। अगर मेरे साथ रहना है, ये ईसाई धर्म के रीति रिवाज छोड़ दे। इतनी जल्दी इस बात को दिमाग में घुसा नहीं चाहूंगा, वरना दफा यहाँ से। कोई जरूरत नहीं यहाँ पर। रहूंगा मैं खुद से ही।
क्या बिगाड़ा था मैंने इनका? अपनों ने भी जुल्म किए, अंग्रेजों ने भी धोखा दिया। गलती क्या थी मेरी? It wasn't me who adopted the Christian faith. मेरे माँ बाप की हुई गलती की सजा मुझे क्यों दी जा रही थी? I won't forgive anyone. कहते थे मुझे संभालने का जिम्मा लिया है। सब झूठ, झूठ, झूठ। That man, he had no spine to marry a fine woman like me. People used to call me a stately goddess. And he turned his back on me? Christian faith, it seems. Those English liars, usurpers of one's peace and love. And I just traded my life to another oppressor who beat me like one of his cattle. All of them must be condemned to burn in misery. Look! You have cast out love. What gods are these? You bid me please? To the 3-in-1, the 1-in-3. Not so. To my own gods I go. It may be they shall give me greater ease than your cold Christ and tangled trinities.
I stayed in Courtgard for some time hence, and Lispeth told me much more about her life. Alas, she passed away near after my first meeting with her. But she became immortal for me. Her legend continued to voice and shape further in the pages of my next novel, Kim.